Hey, do you want to write a book with me this month? Because July is the Rough Draft Challenge. And so, as you're watching this, we technically start today. And so, there's no better time to jump in and say, I am going to commit to my creative project or finishing my novel or writing my rough draft, whatever your creative goals are. I'm going to commit to it and I'm going to join in because it's going to be super fun. And I would love for you to join me. I am going to be working on my own rough draft. So, let's talk a little bit briefly about what is the Rough Draft Challenge, how do you join, what are my goals, and how are we going to do this? Like, what support is out there for you? How do you actually get your book done or get some real progress made this month? So, let's talk about it. Hey, hey. So it is July Rough Draft Challenge. I am so ready for this because I feel like in April when we ran the previous like official Rough Draft Challenge, so we do them 3 times a year, April, July, and November. And I set a whopping goal in the month of April. Even though I had just published a book and like really pushed myself to get it done, I was like, I'm going to write book 2, 75,000 words. And then my health declined and did not allow me to do it. And, sometimes I think, let me know if you relate to this. When we set a really big goal for ourselves and then we can't follow through, it can be so upsetting that it gets scary to set the next big goal. Cause, like, what if I can't trust myself? What if I can't follow through? But the only way that you overcome that disappointment and begin to trust yourself again is to try again. So even if you've done Rough Draft Challenge type stuff or NaNoWriMo or other writing challenges, 10K in a day, whatever challenges, and you haven't done as well as you hoped, don't give up. Set a smaller goal, set something that makes you feel good, set up better rewards, come join the community, set up better structure around it. So I'm going to tell you kind of how I'm overcoming that 75,000 like disappointment in April and now I'm making a difference here in July. So for one, I have been really refilling my well. I have been reading more. I've been gaming every single day with my husband. I've been spending more time outside in this beautiful sun. And I have just been doing what I can to pour back into myself because sometimes when we set these goals of writing, like I did, I set it when I wasn't really burned out entirely, but I had just pushed myself to publish a book for the first time in a year and a half. And that takes a lot of work and a lot of emotional expenditure. And so, expectation of I'm going to turn right around and immediately write a 75,000 word novel was not being very kind to myself. Doesn't mean I can't do it. Lots of people do it. I've done it myself in the past. But during that particular month, it wasn't really within my capacity. So, one of the first things is just saying, okay, I'm going to refill myself because when you're trying to pour from an empty cup, there's not always, creative juice to pour out. And so I've been really refilling my well as best I can. So if you're coming into July and you want to participate in the challenge, but you already know that you're like feeling behind, you're burned out, you don't have any spark of creativity, one of the first things you might want to do over the next few days before the weekend is just refill your well. Instead of writing or pushing yourself, like make a big story grid like I did the other day in my videos. I'll link that down for you. Something that makes you feel excited. Watch a bunch of movies in your genre, read 2 or 3 books in your genre, go back and read through your previous drafts and get yourself excited for this. Anything you can do to really refill your well. Go for a long walk, fill up your fridge with fun drinks, like whatever it is that makes you feel excited. You could also set up some fun rewards for yourself, which could be really motivating. That always motivates me. So think through what personally motivates me or gets me feeling like a spark of excitement for my creative work again. That can feel really good instead of pushing yourself. The second thing is what's a realistic goal? Like if over and over and over again you've set like a 50,000 word goal or 70,000 word goal or even 25,000 word goal and that has just always eluded you because you don't actually have the time to spend on it. Instead of saying, well, this time it's going to be different, I'm going to set this huge goal, try setting a really easy goal, something that is so easy and takes the pressure off that it feels like it's inevitable that you'll get it. Like, I'm going to write 5,000 words. Okay, well, I can do that. That's definitely easy, or whatever that number is for you. And then when you hit it, Now you know, okay, I'm building self trust. I'm building excitement for myself. I'm building momentum. I feel really positive. Let me add another 5,000 words to this. When we start where we're like pushing ourselves beyond burnout, we have nothing to give to it. But when we set the expectation in a way that feels inevitable and fun, sometimes that can just be the thing that's going to unlock our motivation all over again. So, those are a couple of things that I'm doing. So, another thing that I'm doing is structure around it. So I have decided that I'm spending 2 full hours a day. I don't have to be getting words on the page, but during the month of July, I would really like to be spending those 2 full hours, not just thinking about the story, but actually writing. So I'm putting some structure around it. It doesn't have to be for me. I don't always do well with it being the same exact time every day. So in my schedule, I have two major blocks. I have a morning work block and I have an afternoon work block. And if all of those get taken by other work, then I have an evening block that's called my flex time. And so it doesn't matter which one of those three blocks I spend writing, but I have to spend every single day one of those blocks writing. So if you can look around in your schedule and say, where do I have a block of time? It doesn't have to be 2 hours, it could literally be 15 minutes. Where do I have a block of time that is either flexible and moves around throughout the day, or is it the same time every day, depending on what kind of structure your brain craves, and then commit to it. Another thing that can be super helpful is to not do it alone. So, this is where the Heart Breathings writing community comes in. So, if you're listening to this and you're like, Sarah, I want to join, I am all in. How do I join? There's official website is roughdraftchallenge.com. You sign up for an account there and you just sign up for the July, like when the drop down, you say, this month is the month I want to participate. You can put in your book cover image and then you just start tracking your words every day. And it's going to have this beautiful visual, very simple graph that will tell you how many words you've written so far, how far you are to your goal, and how much you still need to hit your goal through the month. It's very helpful, it's very minimal, and it's a great website. So if you want to come join that, I will leave the link as well as a video of the walkthrough of how to use the site down below in the description box. The second thing is join my newsletter and subscribe to this channel. So if you're not subscribed to this channel, hit the subscribe button and then go sign up for my newsletter where you will get this beautiful planner. I just printed mine out at 83% to fit into my like happy planner. And this has a daily planner. It also has tracking sheets, it has plotting sheets, it has a reward sheet, a meal planner, everything you could possibly want. I will also link for you down below a walkthrough of this planner from last November. The dates are different because it's July now, but functions the same basic way. It'll help you set your goal, it'll help you set up scenes, it'll help you track your word count, all of that. And then my favorite part of it, though you don't have to use this if you don't want to, is that there is a daily page. And in the daily page, you can stay connected to your story. You say, here's how many words I've written so far, here's how far I have to go, here's the scenes I'm going to write today, here's how I felt about how it went, and here's what I'm going to write tomorrow. And for me, I don't know if this is true for you, but I am very out of sight, out of mind kind of person. And so if I just say I'm going to write 30,000 words this month, but I don't actually have a way to visually track it, chances are something else is going to come up in my life and I'm going to forget. And then 3 days later, I'll be like, man, I forgot to get that writing in. What happened? So, what I will do is I'm actually going to add these pages to my planner. And then this planner will sit open on my desk so that any time of day I go in to do any work and I'm going to see that daily spread and I'm going to be like, oh, got to get my writing done. I will also be tracking it. And for accountability, I'll also be sharing how things are going in my YouTube shorts here. So it's another reason to subscribe and hopefully stay motivated, stay connected to your story, stay in it. We also have the Heart Breathings writing community, which is a bunch of YouTube channels here on YouTube where we are doing daily writing sprints throughout the day. And then we also, in the middle of the month, will have our virtual writing retreat. We don't have a double down day this coming Saturday because it's July 4th and it's a holiday for a lot of our admins and sprinters. However, mid-month, July 17th, 18th, 19th, we will be doing a full virtual writing retreat where we're going to be writing back to back to back to back. And you'll just go from like my YouTube channel to Mel's YouTube channel to Angela's YouTube channel to Jennifer's YouTube channel. There will just be a lot of sprints going on. And so that's a really good way to catch up in the middle of the month if you fall a little bit behind, or to have that accountability. And I highly encourage you, if you want to join the Heart Breathings writing community, or you want somebody that's going to help encourage you throughout the month that's also going to be writing, to follow our Google Calendar. So I'll link the Google Calendar down below. You can also join our Facebook group, but I know not everybody's on Facebook these days, where you'll get lots of reminders about like how's your writing going and things like that. We have almost 10,000 people in that group. So if you are on Facebook, definitely come join us, because it would be cool to see that milestone this month with 10,000 people. But if you join the Google Calendar, and then every time you see a sprint that's happening that you would want to jump in on, go and subscribe to that person's channel as well. And then you can watch the replays and you can join in the chat. And honestly, the more you join in and actually chat with people, the more friends you're going to make. We have people that have met their critique partners, their best friends, co-writers, even in the chats of our writing sprints. So it's another way to stay connected to your story. So those are the main ways to join. Subscribe to my channel, subscribe to my newsletter, and get the free planner. Subscribe to the Google Calendar so that you see all the writing sprints, and then plan to come join us for the virtual writing retreat. So the writing retreat is, like I said, it's happening on YouTube, and it'll be like you're traveling from one channel to another channel to another channel. And we usually like to pretend that we're traveling to some place in the world. Like last retreat, it was London. So you'll see people like dressing as if they're in London, or decorating, or playlists according to the place, or eating food as if it was the cuisine from that place. Although we're doing it from the luxury of our own homes, it can be really fun. So we'll be announcing the location for our virtual writing retreat coming up soon. I'm also going to be doing some bonus live streams, and these will all be happening probably around 4 p.m. Eastern time. So sometimes it's during the week, sometimes it's on the weekends. But this is just another way for me to help you get through some of these doubts and the messy middle and all of that kind of stuff. So the first one is July 7th, and I'll put all of these in the description, but also on my post tab so that you can sign up with reminders to come get them. But July 7th, we're going to talk about how to overcome resistance and fear and imposter syndrome, which I know is what holds so many of us back from actually finishing a book. The second one is going to be July 11th. We're going to get together and we're going to talk about how do you keep going when you feel like the book is the worst thing you've ever written and you've hit that point where you're stuck. Sort of like the messy middle, but for some people it happens in act 1, and some people it's just you can get 30,000 words into a book and you just never finish it until you start working on a different book. And then you get a little ways into that and you never finish it. So how do you actually finish your book? That's what we're going to talk about on the 11th. Then the 17th through the 19th is the virtual writing retreat. And then on the 26th, we're going to talk about the power of story and why it's so important that you actually finish your book and hopefully let some other people read it. Like, what do you do once the rough draft is finished? So we're going to have a few extra times that we're going to get together this month, and it'll just all be happening here on YouTube Live. So another reason to make sure that you're subscribed and that you come join us in the community. Because if there's one thing that I've learned after writing and publishing 31 novels at this point, it's that you're never really doing it alone. The more you can get into the community, make friends, or start to really spend time with people who understand what you're doing, rather than just like, let's face it, the majority of people in our lives, as much as they may love us, don't really understand what it's like to sit down and write a book. Like all the fears that we face, all the doubts that we face, all the, you know, trying to decide and make all these decisions about what our characters do, and trying to decide the genre. And it's just, you guys get it. I know you get it. We don't always have that from friends and family as much as we love them. And so this is a place where you can be with people who really get it and who are going to cheer you on and who are going to help you reach that finish line. So let's lift each other up all month in the month of July. I know this is a bit of a shorter video, but I wanted to really encourage you to join us in the Rough Draft Challenge. Definitely sign up for my newsletter and get the free planner. Let me know in the comments what your goals are for this month. My goals, I am working on A Throne of Thorns, which is book 2 in my series. And I actually just printed out like all of these book covers to go into my planner because I'm kind of resetting it. So I was like, do I have that book cover in here? So this is the book I'm going to be working on. I finished A Mirror of Shadows and published this. This is a fantasy, like a portal fantasy spinoff of my Shadow Demons saga. And so this book came out in March. And so book 2 is what I'm working on. And I want to make significant progress on it. But I'm also at that point that I was talking about where I don't want to set a 75,000 word goal and then feel like I failed again. Even though it's not a failure, I don't want to feel like I didn't live up to my promise. So I'm setting a 25,000 word goal, which feels easy for me right now, but also I certainly don't want to push it beyond that. So I'm starting with a 25,000 word goal for the month of July. I do have one trip that I'm going on throughout this month. I have like a 5-day trip to Minneapolis, St. Paul area for a mastermind retreat. I'm going to still try to write, but I'm not always the kind of person who writes on vacations or travel. So we're going to see. I don't know if I can stick to my 2 hours a day during that because it's going to be too busy. So when I'm making my plan for how many words I'm going to write per day, I'm not going to count those days. And if you want a system that will help you figure out which days do I actually want to write, what's my realistic goal for me, definitely go and watch the video that I'm going to link below to show you how to go through this planner, because it takes you through a system of like, here's how I figure out how many writing days I have in July. So if you have any questions, just pop a comment on that video from before, and I'm happy to help you come up with your goals. But I'm starting with 25. And in the Rough Draft Challenge, you can set your own goals. So there's a bunch of different goals. You can set your own goals. Emerald is 10,000 words, 25,000 words is Sapphire, which, hey, you know what? It's a blue cover, so I feel like that goal matches. Ruby is 50,000 word goal. Citrine is a 75,000 word goal. And Amethyst is a 100,000 word goal for the month or more. And all of these are explained in the planner. Then there's the Diamond Challenge, and the Diamond Challenge is where it gets really interesting. You can edit, so you could set, it's just a set your own challenge, custom challenge. You could say, I'm going to write 20 blog posts this month. I'm going to make 5 YouTube videos. I'm going to declutter 7 rooms in my house. You could make it anything you want. You could say, I'm going to edit 25 pages this quarter or this month. You could say, I'm going to spend 25 minutes a day, and that can be your Diamond Challenge's minutes. It's completely customizable, because the truth is, even though a lot of challenges out there are really based on word count or whatever, we're all so different, and we have different brains and different needs and different ways that motivate us. So pick a goal that motivates you but doesn't add so much pressure that you will feel bad if you fail. So instead, set a goal that feels like, I can do this. I feel excited for this. This makes me feel pumped up. And then come into the Facebook group or go into the comments below and let us know what your genre is, what your goal is for this month, and how you're going to stay connected to the community. All right, you guys, I super love you. I'm so glad that you're here. Go get your free planner. I will also link some playlists down below for how to edit your novel, how to plot your novel, that I have made in years past that might be helpful for you. One of the ones that you might have not seen that I think is one of the most helpful when it comes to actually writing your book is how to write your novel from scenes, because those scenes are obviously the building blocks of what make up the actual novel. So that series might help you. And of course, they all come with workbooks. So once you're on my newsletter list, you get access to all of those different things. So, all right, hit subscribe, come subscribe to my newsletter. Come subscribe to all of our channels in the Hard Breathings writing community. And if I miss any links down below, just let me know. And I will see you in the month of July. Happy writing, everybody. Bye.